Welcome back to the channel and back into formal and into the usual tipping swing. This week, I'm sorry, I was planning on releasing a video on Friday, but crap went south on Friday, and I had to get a haircut, as you can see from here. So it means, unfortunately, that video that plan on reacting to around 23 and 24 has been put in place on the scrap heap. I do apologise about that. Anyway. So I'm going to go through bits and pieces before I get into the tips, so skip ahead up to a certain point. I'll put it on when I edit the servo, so I'll make sure on Monday afternoon this should come out Tuesday, so I'll be giving you an update, so I'll skip forward to tips if you want to hear about tips. But first, I'm going to be this is the outline of upcoming content. I've got of course, the disc tipping video. Next week is going to be an absolute nuts week. I've got 3 videos to film, so I may be a bit late behind schedule on some of them. Mainly due to Australia take on Bangladesh at home, so I'm very happy about that. Oh yeah, I might do a live stream of some days play, hoping it because TO Stadium has a record of a flat track. I hope, fingers crossed, we'll go into days 4 and 5 during the weekend. And also, AFLW starts off this next week, so it means I will be doing tips and predictions as for that. And also doing that today as well, because of the beginning of the NAB season. It gets underway on Sunday, so let's go through my tipping from last week. I had, for the AFL front, well, I got 7 out of 9 in the only games I screwed up. Well, I was not expecting this, no one did, and Carlton absolutely creamed the Brisbane Lions and gave Brisbane a bit of a hit to their percentage and gave Carlton a bit of a shot up the arm with the percentage, which makes next week's Spuds game very interesting, and of course, had back-to-back screw-ups, because Richmond won just, meaning, I need to check the ladder if it's updated, so I'm pretty sure they've jumped over the Bombers now. Yes, so Richmond are off 17, so finally got a win, but I'm going to get smashed next week anyway. Let's have a look. My fantasy team did 2009, that was the score. And also just saying, I'll be probably doing a 9-hour stream on Sunday, so I'll be hoping that you'll be joining me on that. And if I get the opportunity to do so. So, let's have a look at the first game of the round. Well, it's Western Bulldogs taking on North Melbourne, and North Melbourne got 2 prime-timers, which they deserve, utterly. So, Western Bulldogs were very against Fremantle. They were playing a very negative game. They were flooding. I don't think that's in the rules, but you gotta live with it sometimes. But they stunk. And North Melbourne, well, they pushed Hawthorn at UTAS Stadium and nearly breached their fortress there at UTAS. And I'm slightly leaning to the Kangas this one. I'm going to tip a roughie to start with. Even though they get Aaron Norton and Cody Waitman back, I think North Melbourne will win a close filling affair. They need to win to be any chance of getting to finals. I'm going to tip North Melbourne by 7 points. And the big call is that Cody Waitman kicks free. And then we head to the belter. That is a Friday game. It's Brisbane Lions taking on the Hawthorn Hawks. Well, Brisbane got smashed. And I hoped they would win, but it went absolutely crap. It was not exactly pleasant to season neutral, but you live what you get. Hawthorn, well, they got the job done at UTAS. They got the job done, and this should be a potential finals preview, pretty much. But Brisbane need to make up a heap of percentage now because they got bashed. And teams will be should look out. Because when they get bashed, they will come back stronger. I'm going to tip the Lions here. It's at the Gabba, so it makes sense. I'm going to tip the Lions by 10 points. And a big call is that Lachie Neale records 430+ 100 plus fantasy score. Then we had to another belter of a game. This should have been on Thursday. But Melbourne have a short turnaround, so that's why it probably wasn't the primetime fixture. It's Melbourne taking on Fremantle. Gee, we're getting heaps of great games this round to start with. Fremantle got the job done, and over the Bulldogs, still retain a superior percentage to most of the comp. And they have, I think they have officially now sealed the minor premiership, barring we just need win one more game to get the minor premiership. We have the Melbourne Demons at the MCG, which probably will pack the G. Only our second trip to the G, mind you. But the Demons, well, they did the job. They won a very good game over the Gold Coast Suns, proving that the Suns are still not shit. And I think the Demons can still get the job done. But it's my team, Fremantle. I'm going to tip Fremantle but we should win by. I think Fremantle will win by 4 points. And my big call is that Josh Trace, that Patrick Ross kicks free. Then we head to this another two. We got overlap Saturday games. And it's Sydney versus Port Adelaide. Well, this is going to be very predictable. But Port nearly pushed Sydney all the way last time they played. And it was only from what memory. Yeah, it was a 3-point victory to the Swans in the end. But I think that it's at the SCG. I think Sydney can get it done. And I think Sydney win by 3 points. I think this is going to be a tight game. And a big call in a repeat of their previous game. And a big call is that McLean kicks 2. Then we head to a very crap game. To be honest with you, yes, John v Essendon. Essendon, well, they got smashed. And now back at the bottom of the table. And now they've got a very game against the Cats, who are in ripping form. They got the job done over the points. And get back to the GMHBO Stadium Fortress, which is really good. Essendon, what's not to be said. Adelaide is much the better. I'm going to tip Cats here by 100 points, because John can do that to you. And I'm going to and my big call is Shane Neal kicks 3. Then this Saturday for you stinks. It's Adelaide Richmond. Richmond finally got a win. They got off the bottom of the table, which is good news. Yes, and they are game clear and percentage, but still percentage is still crud over Essendon, which is really, really good news for the Tigers. But they're playing Adelaide side, which absolutely belted Essendon. Last time they played, yeah, it was a belting, 37 points, but both teams could kick straight. It was an ugly game to watch, to be honest with you. I'm going to tip the Crows here. What's to be said? Adelaide by 30 points, and my big call is that because the fog. No, I think Tex Walker kicks 2. Then we head to an expansion cup game. This is going to be ugly. I don't think. GWS Giants taking on the Gold Coast Suns at Canberra this week. Well, Giants, they've got a win. They did very well against the might of. They did well against Port, and they got the job done. But last time they played, well, it was an absolute thriller at People First Stadium on the day before the public holiday. Gold Coast got the job done, but Gold Coast have fallen off since. And I don't think the Suns have ever played at Monica. Okay, I'm going to tip GWS by 3 points here, and my big call is that Lockie Ash takes 5 intercept marks. Well, if you're thinking I'm going to go to the next game of the AFL, well, we're not, because we're going to head. Crap. Well, I'm going to go to an AFL game now. It's West Coast taking on the Collingwood Magpies at 2:10. Well, Collingwood stink. Poor Dane Orange placed a curse on the Pies, and they lost. Both teams came off a loss. West Coast lost to Richmond. So it means the Eels, I want to bounce back. They nearly beat the Pies earlier this year. I'm not going to be surprised if they get the job down here. I'm tipping West Coast simply because I hate the Pies. So I'm going to tip the Eagles here by 5 points, win by 10 points, and big call is that Warman gets a 50% kicking accuracy. Then we head to the AFLW, and just so you know that AFLW tipping videos from now on will have a black footer, and it's first half of the Spuds game doubleheader. It's St Kilda taking on Carlton. Both teams narrowly escaped from their last looks like from what I've seen that the Australia-Ireland game had got that no one had no major injuries. This is really, really good news for the W. And no, let's have a look. I'm just going to double check. So I don't think that players has got. I think both teams. Went away with injury. Didn't go away with injuries. And it should be an absolute cracker of a game. And I think I hope it's gonna be a good game. But Carlton finished last year with a bang. Saints won the last two fixtures between these two sides. But I'm gonna tip the Blues here by 5 points. And my big call is the Sophie Mackay kicks 2. Then we head to the second half of the Spuds game, and doubleheader is also featuring Saints v Carlton for Sunday night primetime. And I might be streaming this as part of the big day of streaming. Well, Saints, they lost to Sydney. In the end, the last time they played was the last Marvel game with Barker Voss, and they got the job done. But last time they played in Spuds game last year, it was ugly. 15 points in favor of the Blues. But I'm going to tip the Blues here. Yeah, simply because they have very much more positive win. I've tipping Blues by 3 points, and a big call is that Tom de Koning gets above 5 hitouts. That's my tips for the AFL and AFLW this week. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again with more content. I've got a big week of content coming up, and also I want to give a shout out to Carman22. He made his return back to YouTube on the weekend, and I'm very happy to see that he is still kicking around. He's a good bloke, and he deserves all the break he needs. So I'm glad to see that he's still doing well. Hope that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed.